Welcome to Crypto Simulation Theory. I'm the Gaussian Snake. Tonight I'm going to review 5 altcoins that were selected by my Twitter followers yesterday, and those 5 are Bloodboy, KIBBLE, the Drugged Huskies, OMNOM, and YEPE. So if you selected those, congratulations. Those are the ones I'm going to look at tonight. I had more requests than I could handle, and I can't do any more than 5 in a single video, otherwise it becomes too long. Nothing I tell you in this video is to be considered financial advice, and for the record, I do not own any of these altcoins, so that should keep my analysis as unbiased as possible. Let's get started. First, we start with Bloodboy, and I'll put all the smart contract addresses in the video description below. So with Bloodboy, we have a market cap right now of $600,000. Total holders is 1.25K, and a relatively low volatility score. You can see that the token holder distribution looks pretty clean for the most part, right? No, not too many wallets holding over 2%, and 72% in the hands of the remaining 1,000+ holders. Let's take a look at Bloodboy's chart in some more detail. For that, I will go to TradingView. So on TradingView, I have Bloodboy's chart pulled up. You can see that we are underneath the 20. By the way, just to kind of let you know, we're on a daily time frame here. Okay. So the yellow is the 20-day, the blue is the 50-day, the white is the 100-day, and the red is the 200-day. So in terms of where we are right now, we are underneath our 20-day, so things are kind of turning down a little bit. But we have held the 100-day as support, which is nice because we just got back up over it after spending a little bit of time under it recently. Okay, and then the 50-day looks like it's coming up towards the 100-day. So all this looks relatively good for now. If we zoom out and draw some fibs from the high to the low, maybe we can get some ideas, maybe throw in some VRVP of where certain support and resistance levels might be. So I do my fibs from swing high to swing low. So we'll put the high here, and the low looks like it's around here. That's good enough. And I'll throw on a VRVP. Okay, and then we can see kind of in general where volume areas are for Bloodboy. There's been a lot of volume. So, and I want to go back as far as possible. So that's, I'm going to go all the way back with this coin since it is so new. Where are we getting rejected? Well, Bloodboy's been getting rejected on the 0.5 fib, and a lot of Matt Fury coins, like the Matt Fury minor coins, minor characters, have been struggling lately. And I think that that's just due to market conditions, Bitcoin sucking up liquidity, and it's the really big altcoins that have been running. But what I'm seeing on Bloodboy that does, jump out at me, and keep in mind, I don't prepare any of this TA. I'm doing all this off the top of my head. I'm noticing a head right here, a shoulder, potentially this could be a shoulder. So that is not the strongest head and shoulders argument. Honestly, there might be a little bit of me just kind of looking for a pattern that may or may not actually be there. Um, the price is struggling with the 382 fib right now. It might come back down to test the 286. So if it does that, I wouldn't panic. Let's just see kind of what happens here. There isn't a lot of volume support between the 236 and the 382, so it could very well come back to test that. Not guaranteed to happen. But overall, I do like the way this chart looks. It looks like it's in an accumulation phase at the moment. And we can confirm that maybe with some other indicators. So one of the things I'd like to look at is maybe the ADX and DI. That's a favorite of mine. So looks like I have the Snabble RSI pulled up. We might as well just keep that there. So for the ADX and DI, you can see that it's been a lot of grind, a very bearish grind from July all the way through to September, and then things got bullish again, but we're still grinding. This is on the daily time frame, so this does move around quite a bit. Trend strength right now on the daily is relatively strong at 31, so things are a little bit more volatile. You come down here to the Snabble RSI, actually had a inverse head and shoulders that broke out on the Snabble RSI, and we touched one the overvalued area, and so I feel like this needs to cool off a little bit. So I think as far as Bloodboy is concerned, and I don't know, I guess I'm drawing just dots on here right now. Okay, TradingView. Ignore all that. As far as Bloodboy is concerned, I do think that this is going to pump pretty hard at some point in the relatively near future. It's such a low market cap. People are gonna rotate their money into it and probably pump the hell out of it. So this looks like a pretty good entry, and I also know Bloodboy has been working on some utility with their project as well. I attended the spaces where I heard one of the guys speak about, I think, some kind of entertainment angle where they're trying to build like a sort of like a almost like a decentralized YouTube kind of thing. So yeah, I would go definitely check them out if this project interests you. Chart looks like it's an accumulation. That's what I'll say right now. So I think you're going to see volatility kind of in both directions until the crypto money kind of rotates to the smaller cap coins, whenever that is. The next coin requested was KIBBLE, and I actually did a video on this one, so go check my channel. It was a while ago. The developer of KIBBLE actually is in my Telegram channel, and you know I have to just kind of again give an unbiased review of this, and so this is nothing personal, but so KIBBLE is a base token, which I love base. Base keeps things kind of cheap. Market cap is only $400,000, and there is, let's see, circulating supply. So there's a little bit of a gap here between total supply and circulating supply. I generally don't like to see that in a project. There's just so many projects that have their full supply out, but I know that with the mechanics of their game, this is kind of how they needed to set things up. We'll look at the chart in a minute. As far as the distribution goes, I'm a little bit confused um, that there's so much supply in the dead wallet. Like this just confuses me. That there's only 5% held by the top whatever 4,000 something holders. So I'm not quite sure I understand this distribution. It might be worth looking at a bubble map to just kind of like check on that real quick. Yeah, so looking at the bubble maps, this was from 5 months ago, so keep that in mind. I see number one wallet having 86% of the supply. I'm guessing that that probably has something to do with the circulating supply being so low and not being released yet. So I would probably look deeper into the project and kind of see how the game mechanics work before we write this one off. Again, I'm a little personally confused by this, but I think it has to do with the total supply and circulating supply probably being vastly different due to the game mechanics. So we can come back to looking at the chart. So I can't pull this up on TradingView for some reason. It's not available there. So we'll use a version of TradingView that's built into DEX tools. Okay, so this chart unfortunately looks kind of dead. It has gone down to some pretty low levels, and that is unfortunate. So if we look at the fibs, we are pretty much way below the 236. Not something I'd like to see. I don't think I can pull up a VRVP on here, but you can kind of see where the resistance would be. If KIBBLE were to get a nice push during base season, you might see this kind of as an area of resistance. I don't like the way this chart looks. I got to be honest with you. I love the founder of this project. He's a great guy. And I respect the work that he's doing. I think the project itself is awesome, but just based on the chart alone, I can't recommend this in good faith. So unfortunately, I would have to pass on this one. Okay, so people are requesting projects where I know the founders of the project, so this puts me in a very awkward position because I do have to remain unbiased. So nothing personal if you're watching this. So this is the Drugged Huskies, or TDH, which I believe started out as an NFT collection on Doge Chain, and I believe they actually were working on bridging that over to Doginals, which is Dogecoin's version of Ordinals. I almost feel like I need to do a whole separate video on Doge sometime. It was something that was requested, but I'm going to stick to these 5 that I talked about earlier. So this one has a market cap of $82,000. So that, I mean, if that were to pop off, that could be quite nice. I like that they're circulating in total supply is the same, so no inflation. That's always a plus. 192 holders. I mean, with a market cap this small, you certainly would not expect to have a plethora of holders. Volume actually looks pretty good considering how small of a market cap this is. maybe a lot of this has to do with Dogecoin going off now. uh, you can only, I guess, you can only purchase this using Chewy Swap. There may be other ways to do it via Doge chain bridging and stuff like that, but that'd be something to ask the founders of this project. So the pool was created in 2023 according to Dex Tools. The one thing that I'm having a lot of trouble finding, and I could not find it on Bubble Maps, I can't find it on here, is the token holder distribution. So I have absolutely no way to evaluate that. So I'll evaluate this based on the chart. Let's go to the chart and take a look at it. Okay, well, chart does look good right now. What a nice pump that this had. So let's draw some fibs. I love my fibs. And again, I can't pull this up on the regular trading view. But oh, lo and behold, a .5 fib, exactly where Bloodboy was having trouble. That's where Drugged Huskies are having a little bit of trouble too. So this area is an area, I think, of where you would expect to have resistance, just looking at kind of the horizontal activity at this level. So we just kind of draw a rectangle there. It's not surprising that we're finding a little bit of resistance, but really not that far from price discovery. Really solid double bottom, but this is like a higher low. Like accumulation phase. I like how it put in a higher low. So I know personally, again, I don't hold any of these projects, so this is as unbiased as I can get. The Drug Huskies is a really strong community, like a very loyal community. The founder of the Drugs Huskies, they're the co-founders. They're very, very nice people. So, and just seeing the number of holders on such a tiny market cap really shows me the community spirit. So based on the chart alone, because that's really all I have to go off of, I would say that you could potentially do well with this. I kind of watch and see what happens here at the zero point 0.5. That was quite a run up, and in terms of like a percentage move off of these lows right here, you're talking like a 3.5x, which in the grand scheme of things isn't really that much for an $87,000 project, right? This thing could run hard. Um, but it could also come back down. So and put in like another higher lows. I guess a lot of what happens here depends on what happens with Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin's probably going to settle down a little bit around the 40 cent level. So you might see this one settle down, and maybe you get it. Maybe you would consider accumulating, maybe around this area, like in this box. So would it come back down to the 236? I mean, it could. It certainly could. There's not a lot of volume in here, so if it does get down below the 382, I think it's going to rocket straight down to 236, and you already saw that happen here. So there's not much. There are many holders in this region, but let's see what happens. I would probably wait on this for a little bit and just monitor it and learn how to use Dogechain and Chewy Swap. So yeah, this one, I mean, looks good from. I mean, this is like a nano cap, right? Taking a huge risk with it, but you can. I mean, if the Drug Huskies ever were to break out in a big way, I mean, it can make you a lot of money. So proceed carefully with something this tiny, but at the same time, check out their community. They got a great Telegram. So again, I'll put links to the smart contracts, and you can go to Dex Tools and find their websites and all that there. And continuing with Doge-related coins, we have OMNOM, which is, I believe, one of the oldest coins on Doge Chain. So for those of you who don't know, Doge Chain is a layer 2 on top of Dogecoin. Um, OMNOM had quite an incredible quarter 2 this year. Quite a nice run up after flagging for a really, really long time. And so they've got a $36 million market cap across 25,240 holders. That's incredible. Really speaks to the strong community element of a Doge chain. If we look at the total supply and circulating supply, there is some inflation. That's something, again, I do not like. 310 trillion available with a almost, what comes after a trillion? I don't even know. 999 trillion roughly total supply. So I'm not a fan of that, but well, I can overlook it if the chart looks good. Can't really get an idea of the holder distribution. I think this is going to be a little bit like the Drugged Huskies in that sense. Notice it is in the hot 3, of course, because Dogecoin's running. Dogecoin's running. You don't want to fade the things that are on Doge chain. So I can possibly overlook the inflation. You would probably want to look at the. I mean, it doesn't look like the inflation is very aggressive because this coin's been around for 2 years, and 31% of the supply has been released. So there's still a remaining 69% to come out. So you probably want to try to find out when inflation is going to hit. But honestly, in a bull market, probably isn't going to matter much anyways. So I'll probably overlook that. I did find a chart from OMNOM on TradingView, but it was from Mexi and it had very limited history. So I'd rather just look at it here. Honestly, this is bullish. Like, it's bullish. Look, this is bull shape formation happening. Let me draw this out. I mean, I don't need to do a whole lot of TA to tell you this. So sometimes when you know, you know. So you got this like beautiful bowl. I love these bowl formations because they typically break out very nicely. Um, so OMNOM put in an all-time high in April. I would anticipate it's going to be testing that pretty soon, and this looks like it wants to break out. So maybe some of the Doge coin profits will roll their ways into the smaller projects. That of course remains to be seen. How do we want to draw fibs on this? That's a really interesting question. So we're on a weekly time frame. Actually, no, we're on a daily time frame. Let's draw fibs like this from the April high and kind of see where we are, because this price data here is probably irrelevant at this point. It had an asymmetric run up and came back to kind of test this level. Nice bottoming formation. Sorry, I think, let me just repeat that. I think my camera might have froze up for a second. What I'm saying is that really nice bottoming formation, and it looks like we came up to the 0.5 fib, and just like the drugged huskies, stalling out around the 382. Not a lot, nothing but air between the 382 and the 236, right? So could we see another retest of the bull? We could. We could come back down and cool off a little bit, or we could just rock it back off. I could probably look at, let's see, I'm a little bit limited here. For some reason, my indicators aren't working. There we go. I'm limited on the indicators because you get less options here. I guess I'll look at like an RSI maybe. Let's see, I mean, RSI is not. I'm gonna throw a MACD and an RSI down. These are not the most reliable indicators, but they're classics, right? So let's see. See the MACD starting to cool off a little bit. See those light greens coming in. RSI got high level. So I think the probable outcome is probably a cool off down to the bull. If I had to guess, I think that's probably a fairly likely outcome. So I would just give the same advice I gave with the drugged huskies on this one, which is to kind of wait and see what happens. Like before entering, like I'd probably see, does this come down? Does it start to break out? And you would expect some resistance here. So if you have a long enough time frame, you could always DCA here and kind of see how that goes. But nonetheless, okay. And the last altcoin we're going to analyze in tonight's video is YEPE, or I guess like yellow Pepe. So I am familiar with this project slightly. I've seen it in some spaces that I've gone to. Again, market cap very low at $733,000. Map Fury related project. I know that much. Circulating in total supply at 100 million. So I like to see that where there's no inflation. 300 holders. So not a lot of holders of this one spread across this market cap. So I'm not let's see what the holder distribution looks like. Don't like it that much. No, I don't like the holder distribution. Okay, I understand when you only have 300 holders, that's kind of hard to spread out, but we're talking like some large wallets here. I would assume this 21% is probably the exchange wallet, but then you've got 10.68%, 5.26, 5.03. These are some. This is a dump risk. So not crazy about that. Let's take a look at the chart. Again, I can't find a TradingView version of this, so we'll just go with the desktop version. Just kind of zoom in. The chart looks good. Now we have a potential double top formation that we have to watch out for. We had a bull flag, broke out, and then we're flagging again. And the question is this a double top and it's about to go lower, or is it going to break out? Really hard to tell. I mean, the bullish part is you have a series of higher lows. That's good. But we just put in, yeah, this is pretty much a double top. I'm not going to draw fibs because we did hit an all-time high and we just practically matched that all-time high. So there's really not much to say in terms of, fibs. Like, as far as the MACD goes, it looks like we're kind of having some issues here at these levels. RSI is kind of putting in lower highs. So that's probably means that we're cooling off a little bit. Price is likely to go down and maybe retest these lows again. Well, I mean, overall, the chart does look fairly good. I'm certainly not going to fade it, but I have bigger concerns besides that. Yeah, my personal opinion with YEPE is that I don't like its token holder distribution metrics. I understand, again, there's 300 holders, which is not a lot, but it bothers me. I get uncomfortable seeing these numbers, and I know these are not all exchange wallets. I generally don't like to see, and again, I am understanding of the low number of holders, but I just don't like to see this, knowing that there's like the top one, two, three, four, roughly 10 wallets, hold the majority of the supply, and then the remaining holders are only holding 43.26%. If any one of these people here were to sell, it would absolutely destroy the chart. So if you're going to enter in a trade like this, yes, the chart does look pretty good, and I think that it could do very well, but you should be aware of the dump risk. So my feeling on this, personally, I wouldn't buy it. If the distribution doesn't bother you and you love the narrative and you think the chart looks good, maybe, you could put a small amount of money in it. I certainly wouldn't put a lot. So yeah, those are my thoughts on YEPE. All right, just to review, we talked about Bloodboy, KIBBLE, the Drug Huskies, OMNOM, and YEPE because that's what you requested on my Twitter. And it just so happened that you requested two projects. I know the people who are running them, and I had to be very unbiased. So, yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this analysis and that you'll come back for more. So, in the meantime, if you want to hear about the newest altcoins that we're checking out that have a lot of strength relative to Bitcoin, you won't find it here on YouTube as quickly as you'll find it in crypto simulation theory because there's a lot of people sharing great alpha there. It's a free Telegram group. We have about 300 members. We'd love to have you join us and share any altcoins that you're excited about there. So we're all about at crypto simulation theory. We don't make money off our members. It's free, right? So I personally, this full cycle, will be making money off the market, and that allows me to give the most unbiased analysis that I can. And yeah, I mean, I try to do that here at YouTube as well. So be sure to subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed the content. Leave me comments down below what you thought about my analysis. If you think it was good, if you think it sucked, whatever you thought, let me know. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to Crypto Simulation Theory, and I will see you next time. Not financial advice. Remember that. All right. Bye bye.